Hey, talk about the sporting legends that have stepped down. Let's talk about Nick Saban. Let's talk about the Bill Belichicks of the world. Do we even care that they're gone? Or
I
y'all just want to win?
care. I mean, I think it's definitely the end of an era when it comes to coaching in
Yeah,
sports. Like the only thing that would have been more fitting for this is if you would have had like in the same year or 2 year standpoint, like a Phil Jackson or somebody from baseball that's prominent retire at the same time. Then there's definitely, well, for college, for football, for professional and college, it's definitely in the era. You have two of the winningest coaches in both professional and college sports retiring within 72 hours of each other. It almost makes you wonder if they had a bet. Like, if I leave, you got to go. Like, we got to leave at the same time because they
right.
retire so quickly from each other. Or I don't know if Bill Belichick retired, so he might still be coaching. But
And their
I
friends.
think, yeah, they're real good friends, right? I think it's a great day for everybody else in the SEC. I think everybody else is celebrating, like, finally. I think it's a wonderful day for Kirby Smart in Georgia to feel like, yeah, we can move on. I think in the NFL, it's just business as usual. There's some real young, dynamic coaches out there. I would say, to me, as much as I hate to say it, because I'm not a fan of this team at all, I would say that with Bill Belichick stepping down, you probably have to say that Andy Reid is probably the number one coach in the NFL currently.
Okay,
When you
okay.
think about
That's
the
genius.
resume and the records and stuff like that,
That's
and what
genius.
he's been able to do, I can't think of another coach who has a better pedigree outside of Andy Reid that's active. Once Bill Belichick stepped down, I
That's
think in
genius.
college football, there's a lot of young, good, college footballs. I am skeptical though of Alabama's hire.
Okay.
I think they took us. I hope he does well. I have nothing against this guy. I think they took a sucker's bet. I think they saw his success this year and they just bought him. You know what I'm saying? Like the what is Caleb Decor, whatever his name is, from Washington. I think because if you remember the coach from TCU last year when they went to the national championship against Georgia, they were looking at him like, and then the very first game next year he got beat by Colorado, right? So, like, I don't know what they're doing, but am I happy for both of them? I think they both have raised the level of what coaching should be. I do agree with the narrative. Someone says, who's better? Is it Belichick or is it Saban? I would have to go with Saban because you have to switch out and get new talent every 2 years and develop them to be a powerhouse every 2 years. Whereas with the NFL, you can keep a core talent multiple years as long as you got a good GM and the right money and things like that. So, and the fact that Saban's won at every institution he's been at, his first championship, people don't want to say, but was at LSU.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he came back and won six at Alabama, right? So, is it the end of an era? Definitely. They both, I mean, Nick Saban can do whatever he wants to, right? He can just commentate. He could do whatever he wants to. So, but we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's dope that they're both friends, and actually Bill gave Nick his first professional job in the NFL. So, but if you would have asked him, Bill would say the same thing. I think he would say Nick is the better coach out of the two, because he said he was happy when he left the NFL and went back to college because he didn't have to worry about him. But what's going to happen in that portal though? How many people are going to leave? Are they going to be able to retain those players? And then now they got to rebuild at this point. You got to completely rebuild.
I mean, personally, I'm like, good riddance to Bill Belichick, at least for a little while. To be honest with you, I'm tired of seeing him, honestly, man. He gave the Chiefs the fit, the Blues. Nick Saban, though, man. I was never really a fan, truly, of Alabama, but I don't know how they're gonna rebuild that. I honest to God, I don't know.
But you don't rebuild a pro. See, I think that's the mistake that most people think. Dion had to rebuild.
Okay.
When you're second to the bottom, that's a rebuild. When you're already at the top and you already got the facilities, you already got the donor base, you already got the fan base, you're in the right conference when it comes to college football. You're not rebuilding anything. You just have to maintain. If he has a ship that is going full sail.
Yeah.
Literally, all you have to do is figure out how to work the button that says autopilot. If you can figure out how to work the autopilot button, it will take care of itself. Now, what will happen is if he ends up changing too much of Alabama, he has to realize he's not in the Big Ten or the Pac-12 no more. He's in the SEC. That fan base, you got maybe 2 years to show them that you're ready to go. Because don't let Caleb, the car, whatever his name is, don't let this dude come in and go 500 or 2 above 500. He's out. You know, you don't get that much time to prove it at Alabama. So he's going to have to do it really, really quick. And all he has to do is just maintain it. It's already a built program. I mean, they got one of the best facilities. You got one of the best. I mean, he had to bring in his coaching staff. But, you know, the one thing that they should look up forward to is that maybe, you know, Nick Saban found a way to get Alabama to the playoffs this year, cheating. But I think, I think it wasn't him though. It was the football playoff system, which we need to talk about because I'm highly upset by that. But yeah, I think Nick Saban did a great job, and I think he showed there. You know, you remember a couple of years ago there was this big debate about the two philosophies and approaches of coaching, especially when it was Alabama and Clemson.
Okay.
Dabo Sweeney was real like the coach, the players coach, real friendly, open practices, talk to reporters. Nick Saban was like the evil empire, but he was winning, but he was really strict and militaristic and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what prevails because what I will say that I see as a commonality between Bill Belichick and Nick Saban is that players will say both of them. They demand excellence, they pay attention to detail, and they are more of a dictatorship, but it has won at both levels.
Yeah. The part
Although people are saying now, was it Bill Belichick or was it Tom Brady that was winning? Because as soon as Tom Brady left, he went to another team and won the Super Bowl the very next year.
Bro, don't get me started.
I would say
fake win.
I would say any coach would say that they're not the one that winning the game, the players are. So you got to have the talent. But the thing that comes to my mind is now you're going to bring in all these coaches. You got people who are there who feel like, oh, well, I was the next in line. I should have probably got this job. Like, you got to try to balance all of that.
Yeah.
And them players. And if you come in there on some weak stuff and they used to grinding, you're going to lose them. It's going to be tough.
I'll tell you this. You want to know who's ready to get Bill Belichick today?
Who?
You want me to go ahead and say it right now?
Yeah,
Who?
yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, with the way they got whooped, they are ready to bring in Bill Belichick today. Did you see the defense? Did you see the defense? They're ready to bring that man in today.
They got tore up. And I just want to say to anybody that's listening, and y'all can be mad at me if you want. Tom Brady did not win that Super Bowl. That was fixed. I repeat, that was fixed.
Which one of the 7 are you speaking of?
Yes.
The first one, go with the first one, the bookends. The first one was fixed, and the last one was fixed.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, sir.
Fixed by who?
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll take that.
Fixed by who? Because I remember Cincinnati having a very strong claim about the Chiefs having a fixed game at home when there were some questionable calls against Cincinnati, and then I remember when Buffalo came in, and then there were some questionable calls against Buffalo that caused the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm just saying that, you know, that all fixed statement, there might be a lot going on both sides of that with the fixed statement.
Those are all lies. But I'm gonna tell you this:
they're all lies, including the one you said.
The very beginning, Tom Brady when he went
the Tuck rule
they invented that Tuck rule.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but it was a situation where the New England Patriots were playing the Chiefs, and one of the guys went kind of low and kind of hit Tom and kind of injured him. So they created a rule based around that. So all these rules
that hold on, a rule that Patrick Mahomes benefits from greatly today. Go ahead.
I ain't never seen a benefit, but I'm gonna say this. that Tom Brady, they was fixing rules for this guy. That tuck rule should have never happened. The Raiders should have, God forgive me, the Raiders should have went that year. They should have went with Gannon. And then this last one, there is no way he should have went. I'm not gonna lie to you. He was terrible. I'm the only one to think that. Tom Brady, the last Super Bowl.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Did you say he was terrible?
Tom Brady,
How many rings does Tom Brady have?
I thought your screen froze. Look,
he was waiting on you. He was waiting on you to respond.
no, I was just playing. I know that freeze. Look, he got a couple of rings, but look,
a couple.
See, y'all gonna.
Who's the great Lamont? Who's the greatest basketball player?
I'm not gonna say Jordan.
Okay.
Who why not? Can I? I won't even go. I was gonna basically go sports science on y'all, but I'm not gonna do it. Basically, Jordan at the time, this dude ran like a sub 4, I think 4.443 at the time, going against like Patrick Ewing and stuff. Patrick Ewing. This dude was.
What's that do with my question?
Because I'm about to answer your question.
Jordan got?
Because I'm about to answer your question.
No. How many rings does Jordan have?
6.
How many rings does Tom Brady have?
7.
Question. How many rings is the next winningest quarterback in the NFL? How many rings does that person have?
Well, Charles Haley has, I think, 4 or 5. 4. But he's not a quarterback.
Quarterback, I said.
Well, who would it be? Montana, maybe 4.
Bradshaw, Montana, 4.
Okay.
So you mean to tell me Tom Brady almost doubled the next person with rings in the NFL? Doubled?
Did you, bro? Did you not see the game when they played us?
Did you not see the gap that you just said? You said 4, maybe 5. So even if we went 5, Tom Brady got 2 more than the next greatest quarterback in the NFL.
So rings determine greatness. Is that what we saying here?
In the NFL, they do. They damn sure do. The only person who's the outlier in greatness for the NFL without a ring, two is Barry Sanders and Dan Marino.
Okay. Okay. I go with that. I'm just, maybe I'm biased. I just feel like.
Yeah, you are. Thank you for telling the audience you're biased. Yeah, thank you. I hope the audience heard that. We do recognize that as
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little biased.
We are biased in some things, and so Lamont has recognized. Lamont, did you tell people where you live? Like what area of the region of the United States you live in?
It's called Beverly Hills, Kansas City. But look, let me tell you, this is what I believe, bro. That's what I believe. I honestly, I do not want Belichick to go to Dallas at all.
He needs to go to Dallas.
If he go to Dallas,
or he needs to come to Washington. He needs to come over
you know
here
what?
to
I'm glad you brought up Washington, man, because I'm trying to understand. Did they just hire someone from Golden State?
You talking about basketball?
Yeah, didn't they just hire somebody from the?
Oh yeah, we hired a new GM. Yeah, we hired a new GM. So I'm sorry. Yeah, you switched it up on. Yeah, they hired a new GM. They had not hired, but they got consultants for 2 GMs. One from, I want to say Detroit or somewhere up north, and then one from the west to help us because we got to figure out what's going on. And that's a good move on our part because the owner recognizes that if we're actually trying to win, we got to think about how we're running operations. It would be great if we can get 1 or 3 people. So let me go ahead because Jim Harbaugh, y'all, just in case y'all don't know, Jim Harbaugh watches our show. And so, Jim, I'm going to go ahead and tell you something, Jim. As a Washington Commanders fan, here's the reason why you need to go to Washington. Look dead in the camera. Here we go. Because I'm going to make my plea. And Washington Commanders Nation, I'm going to let you all know when we get Jim Harbaugh, you just realize it's because of this plea on January the 15th. Here's the reason why you need to come to Washington, Jim Harbaugh. Number 1, you will be within 2 hours away from your brother, John, but in 2 totally different divisions. AFC with the Baltimore Ravens, NFC with Washington. But you'll be right there, family, close-knit. It helps your mom and your dad fly to one area of the region. You don't have to worry about the kids and the travel and stuff like that. You both can still talk football and logistics and help each other out until you get back to the Super Bowl like y'all did before. So you know it's possible. That's number one. Number two, we have the history and the fan base in Washington. Number three, you have Eric Bieniemy to help you with the offensive schemes and willing and dealing. We just need someone to lock in on the defensive side, and that is you, Jim Harbaugh. You just did it at my beloved Michigan. You can do it at Washington. Come on over, sign the paper.
Y'all gonna get rid of Bieniemy.
We shouldn't get rid of him. I think he needs to get a coaching. I don't know why this man has not become a coach. There's something wrong with him if he can't become a coach.
I mean, again, you guys listen to the Educate You podcast being brought to you by My College Draft. I'm just trying to understand why you think, and I wouldn't even want to go here, but now I got to go here. Why you think Harbaugh will be good as an NFL coach based on his previous or what he's doing with Michigan?
Both. Tell me a program he went to where he didn't win. I'll wait.
When he was a quarterback in Chicago. Go ahead.
No. Tell me a program he went to as a coach and didn't win.
You're right. He's a winner. I'm hating, bro. I'm hating all around. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm hating.
I'm just saying, if he comes to Washington, we in there. Now, y'all know my team is trash. Here's the difference. I told y'all this before, and I'm about to. This is my last dig of the day, and I won't touch it again. Here's the difference between reality and fantasy, or what people will say, insanity. Reality, insanity. I am a Washington fan, a beloved Washington fan. And the only difference between Washington fans and Cowboy fans is we realistic. We know our team is trash. We don't sit there for 28 years saying we're about to win it all and get thumped in the first round at home. See, you know what Washington does because they love us so much? They give us hope for 6 games, and then they let us know, no, not this year. And then they just tank, and then they just go horrible. So we don't even have to sit there and dream about the playoffs. Cowboy fans just dream about the playoffs and get thumped every year with a 12-5 record. Your 12-5 record, guess what you're doing? The same thing that Washington fans are doing right now at home. Sitting watching next week. Sitting watching today, hearing about 20 minutes, the Bills and whoever they play. So I need folks to be in reality. We know Washington fans know the number one issue with us was that our ownership was trash with Dan Snyder. Number two was that we left RFK Stadium and we lost the nostalgia of home field. Number three is we just need players who are gonna be gritty and grimy. We don't got no grit and grime no more, and we don't stick to nobody. So now that we got a new owner, the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers is coming in, who's trying to change that philosophy, trying to get some consultants and GMs. We just need that one coach, which I'm not saying no knock to Ronald Rivera. I think he was a great coach, but he also had health issues, and I don't know how much that played with it. But we need someone who can give us that new energy. And then when you hear Washington say we here, guess what? We here. We can't call ourselves America's team being 28-0, 0-28 in the playoffs. That ain't working. You know what I'm saying? So that's the last thing I want to say.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna close.
That's a big fire.
I value the fact that y'all hired that member Alpha Phi Alpha as y'all general manager up in Washington.
Oh yeah, we make history in Washington.
Yeah,
we trash. You need somebody to lead it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.